blockbuster stars of all time. What are you gonna do next, Arnie? I think I'll marry a Kennedy. There's no fucking way you can do that. Bam, he does it. Cherry on top, I'm running for governor of a state I can't even pronounce, and he wins the election. Why wouldn't this guy think he couldn't bang his maid in his own bed and get away with it? This dude has been in the zone for over 4 decades. 4 decades, nothing but net. Bang a maid in my own bed? Dude, that's a layup. Are you serious? I had a hit movie with the midget. I don't even need a condom. Right? And then what happens? The smoke clears. Then all these trolls come out of the woodwork and start judging this great man. All these fatties, these fucking old guys who never got any with their jowls, coming on TV, absolutely reprehensible behavior. What kind of a public servant? His legacy is shrouded. Like they have any idea what it's like to be tempted at that level, right? Like they have groupies as they waddle out to their Mercury Tracer, parked on the other side of a dumpster. Really? You're beating them off? This guy, he's not a great man anymore? Terminator doesn't count? Is that what the fuck you're telling me? Because he fucked Alice? Really? He's still not a great man because he did that. Then the whole thing's over? Anybody here think they could move to Austria, learn the language, become famous for working out, then be a movie star, then marry into their royalty and hold public office? How many lifetimes would you need? I'm on my 3rd attempt at Rosetta Stone Spanish. All right? How can I judge these guys? I can barely handle the temptations of Facebook. I'm gonna judge Tiger Woods? I golf. I don't walk off the 18th hole and there's a busload of Scandinavian women waiting to fuck my brains out. Sorry, ladies, gotta go home to the wife, right? No, it kills me. And there's no help out there for guys. There isn't. There's nothing out there to help you handle becoming rich and famous. There's nothing to prepare you for that platoon of whores that's gonna form on the horizon, right? Like Braveheart, faces painted, skirts on, will run down the hill, they'll jump on your dick in front of your wife. They don't give a shit. It's not even a handbook out there. I saw one article written about it on the cover of Time magazine. It said, why do so many rich, famous, and powerful men act like absolute pigs, right? And the article was actually written by a woman. That's like me writing a book, The Third Trimester and What to Expect. Ladies, you're gonna feel a pressure. How the hell would I know? You don't want to hear that from me, right? Then why is this woman telling me what it's like to have a dick? That makes no sense. You have no idea what it's like to have a dick. 24/7, do it, fuck it, do it. That's what it's saying. Do it. Yeah, do it. That's how we survived as a species. Every man in here is programmed to fuck 85% of the women in this room. Right? Yeah, we are. Do it, fuck it, do it, you know? It's just that you won't. That's the only reason why we don't, you know? That's not you keeping your dick in check, you know? Some guy at Home Depot working there, he wants to fuck just as many women as a celebrity, right? But he can't do it because whores don't care about lumber, right? But the second he hits the fucking lottery, all of a sudden, you know, that do it, fuck it, do it, you know? That wasn't affecting his life. Then all of a sudden these whores show up. I'll do it, I'll suck it, I'll do it, right? No, somebody's got to step up, all right? I'm not even blaming whores, really. Just guys, we're fucking idiots. What are we doing? Why are we working so hard and then giving it all away to some chick who did 3 shifts at a fucking Hooters, you know? They're fucking bums. Sitting there with fucking Dorito dust in their cleavage, walking around with hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm sick of that shit. That's what the law says. 100 years ago, I could beat you with a fucking mop handle and be like, well, that's what the law says. Doesn't make us right. No, it's unreal. And all this shit's going down and we're not doing anything. What are we doing? Same old shit. Sitting around watching Shark Week, right? Watching shit about poisonous snakes half a world away, just filling your head up with all this useless information. What to do if you come face to face with a Bengal tiger. Don't look at it, don't look away. Slowly back up as you push your friend forward, right? All this this useless information, yet hanging between your legs is this thing that could crumble your entire empire 7 minutes or less. Don't know a fucking thing about it. Even worse, you think it's your friend. Yeah, you know why? Because your dick's like a dreamer. You know? Your dick believes. It's like a motivational speaker. I don't give a shit what question you ask it. It's always like, yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a plan. Exit strategy. Later. We'll be fine. Where's your dick when you get caught, right? Then it's just slumped over like, hey, I thought it was a good idea, you know? Yeah. You have to know that. Dude, if your dick was a third base coach, it wouldn't hold anybody up. It'd just be fucking waving people around. Everybody, go in standing up. You got it. In the greater Atlanta, Georgia area, this Oasis. It's nice to be here. I don't know why I came here in June, but it's nice to be here. Wasn't thinking. Fucking ridiculously hot out there, just miserable, horrible. That kind of heat, you understand the racism down here, you know? It's like, I get it. How would you get along with anybody? Look at them, just over there, drinking a cool drink. Lemonade was made for the white man. So, the hell have I been doing with my life? Trying to get in shape, man. I hate going to the gym, so I decided I'd go veggie twice a week. It's brutal. I can only make it till about 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, that's what I realized about myself. You know that? Something has to die every day in order for me to live. Something's got to get its beak chopped off, its feathers yanked, uppercut to its jaw, just in order for me to survive. I'm trying. Couscous and all that shit. It's awful. I saw this thing, though, that they said if everybody went vegan. If everybody went vegan, though, it would be vegetarian, whatever the hell they said. One of those V ones, right? And they said it would be great for the environment. You know, because I guess there's all this cattle standing around, and when they fart, the gas goes up in the atmosphere and causes something. Right? They're always doing that shit. You know, if everybody went vegan, the air would be, if everybody drove an electric car, if everybody just had some snowshoes on, right? They just won't come out and say it. Nobody has the balls to come out and say it and just say, look, 85% of you have to go. That's it. That is it. I have been bitching about the population problem for 3 specials in a row. Waiting for some politician to have the balls to bring it up, but they won't do it. They won't do it. We live in a democracy, right? Can't be honest in a democracy. You need the votes. You can't run with that as your platform. Coming out there, and if elected, I would implement a program to immediately eliminate at least 85% of you. This planet cannot sustain the sheer numbers. Let me finish. This will not be arbitrary. Under your seats is a multiple choice questionnaire. If you did not bring a pencil, you're already out. You can't do that. You gotta be nice. You gotta be fucking nice, especially this day and age, man. Everybody getting in trouble. All these goddamn groups out there, bitch moaning and complaining. Anytime anybody says anything, hey, we're part of a group. You gotta apologize. I'm sorry to people who own Sharpies. I didn't mean to say that it's an ugly-ass dog. Nah, right? You know what? Fuck you and your group. What about that? What do you got, like 2 million people in your group? There's 400 million in this country. Nobody gives a shit, right? Who the fuck joins a group? I'm gonna join a group. That's what I'm gonna do today. Go to meetings. Kind of a fucking loser, right? That's the same way I look at people laugh who got upset about, you know, Michael Sam, the gay football player, kissing his boyfriend when he got drafted. Everybody bitch moaning and complaining. It's like, dude, you know what? That's what you get for watching the draft. All right? You know, once again, what kind of a fucking loser just sits there watching round after round? The Jets are up next. I think they need a cornerback. They need to improve the defensive line. Dude, that's like going to a graduation ceremony where you don't know anybody who's graduating and just fucking sitting there. They're gonna have the whole list the next day. They'll have everybody who drafted, who, when. Fucking gotta sit there and watch that shit. Those stupid interviews. Hey, you're a member of the Buffalo Bills. How does it feel?
Well, it's a blessing. I want to thank God. Gonna try to do my best. It's a great organization. And same shit the last 80 guys said. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad he kissed him. He should have fucking blown him. Yeah. With birthday cake in his mouth and a Santa Claus hat on his head. Just to ruin the entire year. Holding a flag. That fucks up Flag Day. You'll keep thinking about it. Yeah. Fucking stupid ass groups. People apologizing to them like they have some sort of power. Look, if you're being a dick, apologize. But other than that, yeah, go fuck yourself. Yeah. Everybody getting in trouble. Like a bunch of children. I was doing a gig in Dallas and some waitress wrote on a piece of chalkboard. She goes, "We like our beer the way we like our violence. Domestic." All right? Yeah. I gotta tell you something. That's a great fucking joke. There is zero fat on that. You need every word of that joke. You take one word out, it doesn't work. It's a perfect joke. So whatever, nobody gives a shit. One person comes in, they don't like it. They ask the manager to take it down. He's just like, hey, that's our sense of humor here. Have a beer, go fuck yourself. That's what we're doing. So she takes a picture of it, she puts it up on Facebook, and all of a sudden people start complaining, and they fired the manager and the waitress because of that. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, what do they think's gonna happen if somebody reads that joke? Like, you're some guy who would never hit a woman, Would never hit a woman. You can't hit women. You can't. You honestly cannot. You ever see how they fall? They fall like toddlers, It's like they never fell in their life. They never put their hands out. It's horrific to watch. You can't hit them, right? So what are you telling me? You're telling me someone who never hit a woman is gonna come walking in, read that joke, just be like, wait a minute. This is the dumbest shit. Dude, they have all kinds of signs out there telling people not to hit women. People still do it. What do you think wife beaters are doing when they drive home? They're like so focused on hitting their wife, they got blinders on, they're not reading anything. They don't see that don't hit your wife. Billboard, they're still gonna do it.
I found out about the dinner because of a parking receipt. My name is Daniel Reyes. I'm 41, and for the better part of 16 years, I've run a small chain of hardware and home repair stores, 3 locations. My name nowhere on the sign, but my signature on every lease. It's not the kind of business people write articles about. It's the kind that keeps a roof over people's heads and a truck full of lumber moving 6 days a week. I married Rachel Whitfield 19 years ago. She was 22 then, ambitious in a way I found magnetic. I was 23 and certain that being useful to someone was the same thing as being loved by them. We had our daughter, Emma, 2 years later. She's a junior now, studying environmental science 2 states away, old enough to have quietly figured out things about her parents' marriage that neither of us had said out loud. Rachel climbs the ladder at a regional insurance firm. She's sharp, well-liked by clients, good at the kind of small talk that closes deals. Word around the house for the last month had been that a director title was coming, bigger office, a seat on the regional committee, a raise that would have made my store margins look almost quaint. The receipt was stuck to the bottom of a grocery bag I was unloading from her trunk. A parking garage downtown, a Thursday night, a restaurant I didn't recognize attached to the ticket, Marchetti's, the kind of place with white tablecloths and a wine list instead of a menu. 2 entrees. I stood in the garage with that little strip of paper for a long time before I did anything about it. I didn't confront her that night. I'm not built that way. I circle things first, turn them over, look for the version where I'm wrong. So I waited. And 2 days later, while she was in the shower, her phone lit up on the nightstand with a calendar reminder. Director announcement dinner, Grovemont Club, Friday, 7 p.m. Confirm guest. Marcus plus parents. Marcus Delano. Rachel's college boyfriend, the one she dated for nearly 3 years before we ever met, the one who now did brand consulting for firms like hers and who I'd been introduced to exactly once at a company holiday party, where he'd shaken my hand like he was doing me a favor. I sat on the edge of the bed and read that message for times. Confirm guest, Marcus. Not me. Not her husband of 19 years. Marcus and her parents. When she came out of the bathroom, toweling her hair, I held up the phone. What is this? She went still in that particular way people go still when they've been caught mid-lie and are recalculating in real time. Danny, it's not. It's a work thing. Marcus consults for us now. He's part of the account team. It's not personal. Your parents are going. My mom wanted to see the room, that's all. It's not a big deal. It's a dinner celebrating your promotion, and the guest list has your ex-boyfriend on it and not your husband. She sat down on the bed, put the towel in her lap, and didn't look at me. You hate that kind of event anyway. You always say you feel out of place with my work people. That's not the same as being erased from the list, Rachel. She didn't have an answer for that. Not one she was willing to say out loud anyway. I left the room, went downstairs, and stood in the kitchen with my hands flat on the counter until the shaking stopped. I didn't say much for the rest of that week. I went to work, I opened the stores, I signed off on inventory, I trained a new hire on the register system. But underneath all of it, a second track was running, quiet, methodical, the same way I'd approach a store that was bleeding money without an obvious cause. Find the leak. Trace it back. I called my accountant, a woman named Louise Okafor who'd handled my books since I opened the second location. I need every joint account statement for the last 3 years, I told her. Everything Rachel and I share. That's a big ask, Daniel. What am I looking for? I don't know yet. I'll know when I see it. She had it for me by that Friday, the same day, it turned out, as the dinner I hadn't been invited to. What she'd found made my stomach drop somewhere around the second page. 18 months earlier, our shared investment account, money my father had left us, plus a decade of careful saving, had held just under $200,000. In 3 separate withdrawals over that time, more than $150,000 of it had been moved out. The memo lines called it consulting retainer and brand partnership investment. 2 of the 3 withdrawal authorizations had my signature on them. I hadn't signed either one. Where did the money go? I asked Louise. She slid a printout across the table. Every transfer had landed in the same place, an LLC called Delano Creative Group. Marcus. There was more. Louise had also pulled activity logs from the store's accounting software, which Rachel had administrator access to for tax purposes. Someone had been logging in after hours, 9, 10 at night, and pulling vendor pricing sheets, supplier contracts, margin reports. Not stealing money directly. Stealing information. And 6 months before that access started, a new hardware chain had opened 2 locations near mine, undercutting my pricing on the exact items where my margins were tightest. I'd assumed it was aggressive expansion. I hadn't considered that someone might be feeding them my numbers. I sat in Louise's office for a long time after she finished talking. Not angry yet. Just doing math. 19 years, 1 daughter, and apparently a second business quietly built on the back of mine. I didn't go to the dinner. I didn't call her, didn't text her, didn't give her any indication that I knew. Instead, I called a lawyer, a friend of a friend named Priya Chandrasekharan, who specialized in exactly this kind of unraveling. I need everything documented before she knows I know, I told her. Smart, she said. Emotion is expensive in these situations. Documentation is cheap. Bring me what you have. I brought her the withdrawal slips, the the LLC filings, the after-hours login records, the parking receipt that had started it all. She spread it across her desk like she was building a case file because she was. "This isn't just a messy divorce, Daniel," she said eventually. "Forged signatures on withdrawal authorizations, that's fraud. If the DA wants to pursue it, that's a felony. And if Marcus Delano's company was built using stolen trade information from your business, you may have a civil claim against him separately." What do I do about tonight? Legally? Nothing. Don't show up, don't cause a scene. Let her have her dinner. Monday, we file. You want the element of surprise. The moment she realizes you know is the moment she starts hiding things, so we move before that moment, not after it. That Friday evening, while Rachel was getting dressed for a party celebrating a title I'd helped make possible by covering more than my share of the mortgage during her leaner years, I drove to a storage unit I'd quietly rented under my business name 2 weeks earlier. I brought a change of clothes, my laptop, copies of every document Louise and Priya had helped me gather, and the wedding photo album because some instinct told me I'd want it later and wouldn't want to ask for it back. I left my ring on the kitchen counter, next to the coffee maker, where she'd find it in the morning. Then I checked into an extended stay hotel 11 minutes from the storage unit and ordered room service I didn't taste. Rachel's assistant had posted photos from the dinner before the entrees even arrived, a private company account, tagged unguarded. I scrolled through them from a hotel bed that wasn't mine. There she was at the head table, laughing at something, her parents beside her. And next to her mother, in the seat where a husband of 19 years should have been sitting, was Marcus Delano, hand resting easily on the back of her mother's chair like he'd been part of this family for years instead of 2. I took a screenshot, filed it, turned the phone face down and, for the first time in weeks, slept without the low hum of dread underneath it. The not knowing had been the hardest part. Now I knew, and knowing meant I could move. My daughter called the next morning before I'd even had coffee.
"Dad,
Mom's been calling me all night. She won't say why, just that something happened with you. What's going on?" I hadn't planned to tell her yet. But Emma has always been sharper than either of us gave her credit for, and I wasn't going to lie to her the way I'd apparently been lied to for months. "Your mother's been unfaithful," I said. "And she's been using our money and information from my stores to help Marcus build a competing business. I found out this week. I'm filing for divorce Monday." The silence on the line lasted long enough that I thought the call had dropped. "I knew something was off," she finally said. I didn't want to say anything, because I wasn't sure. "Dad, I'm not going to pick sides, but I need you to know I'm not going anywhere." "Okay. That's all I need, sweetheart." Rachel called 11 times over the weekend. I let most of them go to voicemail. When I finally picked up Sunday night, her voice was already unraveling. "Where are you? You left. No note, nothing." "I know about the withdrawals, Rachel. I know about Delano Creative Group. I know someone's been pulling pricing sheets from my store accounts at 10 o'clock at night." The line went quiet in a way that told me everything I needed to know. "I can explain. You can explain to my lawyer starting Monday." "Daniel, please. Marcus needed capital. It was supposed to be temporary. I was going to tell you." "You forged my signature."
"Twice."
"That's not a temporary favor. That's a felony, and it's not my call anymore whether it gets treated like one." She cried. She apologized in the scattered, half-formed way people do when they're not actually sorry yet, just afraid of consequences. I didn't feel the anger I expected to feel. Mostly I felt tired, and underneath the tired, something like relief. The particular relief of finally being allowed to stop pretending a thing was fine. "What about Emma?" she asked. "She already knows. She called me this morning." Another long silence. Then, quietly, "Do you hate me?" I thought about it honestly before I answered, because she deserved an honest answer even if she didn't deserve much else.
"No."
"I don't have it in me to hate you. I just don't think I love you anymore, and that's its own kind of ending." The months that followed were mostly paperwork. Priya filed the separation on Monday morning, exactly as promised, with enough documentation attached that Rachel's own lawyer reportedly told her not to fight the settlement terms. The forensic accountant Priya brought in confirmed what Louise had already found: a year and a half of quiet transfers, funneled into Marcus's company, which had in turn been undercutting my stores using information Rachel had access to as a joint account holder on our business software. Marcus's business didn't survive the scrutiny. A health and safety inspection at one of his retail partners turned up violations that shut the location down. An old lawsuit from a previous business partner in another state resurfaced once people started looking closely at his history. Apparently, this wasn't the first time he'd talked someone into funding him and then quietly walked away with the profits. My civil suit against Delano Creative Group forced a level of financial disclosure that turned up a pattern going back almost a decade. Rachel took a plea deal on the fraud charge, probation, restitution, a permanent mark that would follow her professionally in ways her director title never would. Marcus wasn't so lucky. The criminal charges against him were more numerous, and the judge wasn't inclined toward leniency for a repeat offender. I got the house. I got full ownership of the stores back, free of the shared administrative access that had made the leak possible in the first place. I got a judgment against Marcus for a sum I doubted I'd ever fully collect, and eventually did collect a portion of, once his assets were unwound in bankruptcy court. But mostly, I got my daughter back in a way I hadn't realized I'd been missing. Emma came home for Thanksgiving that year, and we cooked together for the first time in years. Nothing fancy, just the two of us figuring out a turkey neither of us really knew how to season properly. "You okay, Dad?" "Actually okay?" she asked, drying a dish. "Yeah," I told her. "I really am." 14 months after the dinner I wasn't invited to, I stood in the doorway of my fourth store on opening day, watching Emma, home for spring break, ring up paint cans for a line of customers that stretched out the door. My old assistant manager, now a full partner with real equity in the business, was running a second register beside her, grinning like he still couldn't quite believe how far we'd come. A woman stopped by that afternoon to talk about a bulk order for a construction project she was managing nearby. We talked for 20 minutes about lumber grades and delivery schedules and, somewhere in there, about nothing in particular at all. When she left, she tucked a business card into my hand with a personal number written on the back in blue pen. Emma noticed before I did. "She was flirting with you. She was talking about lumber. Dad, call her." I looked at the card for a long while after Emma went back to the register. Rachel had texted a few weeks earlier, a short, careful message congratulating me on the new location. I'd read it once and deleted it without responding, because I'd learned by then that you can't build something new while you're still holding the door open for the old thing to walk back in. I put the woman's card in my wallet instead, next to a photo of Emma from her freshman move-in day. Then I went back out onto the floor, into the noise of a business that was, finally, entirely and only mine. It wasn't the life I'd pictured 19 years earlier when I married Rachel Whitfield. It was better, quieter in the ways that mattered, and honest in a way the old one, it turned out, had never really been.